to be scrapped. It's sort of a lottery situation there. They're calling the American immigration system a joke.
It's believed Sayfullo Saipov, who's 29, came to America legally from Uzbekistan in 2010.
Mr. Trump said he'd consider sending him to Guantanamo Bay after the terror attack which killed 8 people and left 12 people seriously injured.
We have to get much tougher, we have to get much smarter, and we have to get much less politically correct. We need strength, we need resolve. We have to stop it. So we're going to get rid of this lottery program as soon as possible. He came in through the diversity program, as you know.
Well, we're joined now in San Diego by immigration attorney Alex Ozols. Alex, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Can you just explain to us how this visa lottery system works?
Yeah, sure. So the visa lottery system, they call it the diversity lottery. And what it really is it's a situation where 15 million people apply for this per year. And they give them to about 50,000, and it's just randomly assigned to people applying for it. The only real criteria is you need a high school diploma or high school graduation, 2 years of experience, no criminal record, and then you go through the system if you are chosen, and they do a little bit of a further vetting on you, and that's how you become a resident of the United States. So this program's been around since 1995.
And do you think, I mean, you're an immigration attorney yourself, do you think that it's as flawed as Donald Trump is suggesting it is?
No, it's certainly not flawed. I mean, there's been over 1 million people since 1995 coming through. 1 million people, over 1 million people. And now there's been one terrorist, essentially, who came through the program. So it is essentially 1 in a million. When we use that term 1 in a million, this has been 1 in a million. Saying that it's flawed, you know, it can be fixed. It is a little bit of an odd situation, but it's not necessarily flawed to the extent that Donald Trump says it is.
Well, overnight, Donald Trump has tweeted that the United States will be immediately implementing much tougher extreme vetting procedures. The safety of our citizens comes first. What do you know about this, and what will it mean in practice? He's talked about a merit-based system. He's talked about we've got to stop being politically correct. What does he mean?
Yeah, so I mean, the funny thing is he tweeted that, and for some reason he thinks that tweeting it becomes law. I mean, for him to say we're going to have much more extreme vetting process and we're going to do more and it's going to be stricter, or I've told DHS, I mean, there's certain things that he has to do, and he has to talk to the Senate, he has to talk to the House, he has to talk to Congress. There's things that he needs to do this. Him just tweeting it doesn't all of a sudden make it law, and that's the way he's making it seem. He can send a memo, but him just saying this, it's not changing laws, it's not making laws. So it's an odd situation.
What does the merit system mean, though, that he's talked about? He wants a merit system, an entalot in a merit system. What would that be?
So the merit system would be like what's now a H-1B visa or a TN visa. And what the merit-based system would be is basically if you have a job, if you're making money, if you're making a certain amount of money, if you're a professional, then you'd have the right to come to the U.S. And that's kind of more of what they're looking for with a merit-based system. They're saying we don't want to give it away, but if there were skilled professionals, that would be more of a merit-based system.
Alex, this suspect was originally from Uzbekistan. And we know that Donald Trump has this list of 7 countries currently which has restricted entry into the United States. So even President Trump's own policy, wouldn't have avoided or wouldn't restrict him from coming to the country. Is that right?
Yeah, no, it wouldn't have. It may be something now that Donald Trump tries to bring more countries into it. He may use this as, you know, a political motivation to try and bring more countries in on the Muslim ban. But they're having a lot of trouble with that. Travel ban, the first travel ban, there was injunctions in the courts which prevented that. And then travel ban 2.0, they called it. There was also injunctions in the courts which have now slowed that as well. So yeah, it wouldn't have affected it, even if it was at one of the countries on there, and it's not.
Interestingly, nationals of the 7 countries he has singled out on his list have actually killed 0 people in terrorist attacks in the US, according to various databases. So it's all very confusing as what he's trying to get at. But he's also said, which has raised a lot of eyebrows, that he might send him to Guantanamo to be held there. Now, that has all sorts of connotations, doesn't it? You know, allegations of torture being held there, of being above the law. I mean, why would he say that, and what does he mean by it?
It seems like that's a strange, off-the-cuff remark for him to say. I mean, this individual is going to be either in state or in federal custody. He's in custody because he's committed a crime. He's going to have a court case. He's going to have a trial. He's going to have the justice system, you know, come towards him, and it's going to. I mean, Guantanamo's for detainees. And to detain this individual indefinitely, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. This individual's committed a crime, and now he's going to go on trial for it, and he's going to be convicted for it, and he's going to go to prison. But it seems like when Donald Trump made that representation, he was basically trying to say, I'm going to punish this person to the furthest extent, or, you know, like you said, there's been allegations of torture there, and it seems like that's kind of what they were getting at.
Alex, this diversity lottery, and it's interesting you say there were 1 million people have come in, and this is the first example of any one of them creating a terrorist attack. So it's a 1 in a million chance. But the reality is, sadly, tragically, there are 8 people that are now dead. There are 12 people that are seriously injured. And there will be a huge swathes of America and people around the world saying 1 in a million is just too many. It's too big a risk to take if that's what they could be capable of.
I agree. I think that's what's going to happen. I mean, it's scary, you know, stuff like this happens, and people look to the government, and people think, you know, even if it is 1 in a million, you know, someone killed someone. And I personally believe that this diversity lottery, you know, it may be shut down, and I think it's going to because of this. So unfortunately, for the millions of people that, you know, the 1 million people that have came in that haven't committed any wrongdoing or anything like that, there's no record of anything. The one person that did commit a terror attack, and they're going to go to prison for that, and that's something terrible that they did. But this is now likely going to shut down the program for the future.
OK, Alex, thanks very much for joining us this morning. That's immigration attorney Alex Ozols from San Diego.